everything that you go through in life does make you, it does make you stronger. It does make you resilient. You do learn all the time. I choose based on enjoyment and fulfillment. And I still wrestle with the chewy bits because there's no denying business is chewy. Life's chewy. Relationships are chewy. But I think if you come back to surrounding yourself with really good people is, to me, the absolute essence. And maybe there needs to be a little bit of strength to remove yourself from people that don't help you, that might be detrimental to you, to your spirit.
Welcome to What Was, What Next. This is a podcast about the seasons of change that shape our lives. I'm Hina Thacker, and in each episode, I sit down with someone who has stepped away from what once was, be it a career, a role, a relationship, an identity, and is now finding their way through the uncertain space of what comes next. These are not stories of perfect reinvention. They're honest conversations about the in-between seasons, the moments when the old life no longer fits and the new one hasn't fully formed. If you're navigating a transition of your own, you're not alone here. There are many of us who have navigated through those same waters. So let's begin the conversation for today. So welcome. I would like to welcome you all to the podcast. And my guest today is Sarah. I am going to ask Sarah to introduce herself to all of us. Tell us about you, who you are.
Hina, thank you for having me here today. Yeah, I was trying to think, when you try and encapsulate your life into a quick bio where you think, gosh, what shall I say and where shall I start? There's been quite a lot of forms and incarnations along the way. I think fundamentally my biggest role is as a mum. I have one daughter who was hard fought for in terms of, didn't think it would happen for many, many years, and then an absolute blessing when she arrives. Abby's now 24, going nearly 25. I'm terribly proud of her and I'm terribly proud of us. But in a business sense, I started off as a graphic designer, so I've always been around art and design. And from day one, from like 8 years old, I knew that was what I was going to do. I've never, ever had any lack of clarity around what I want to do in life. And I'm 60 this year, and I'm still the same. I haven't changed one bit off that path, really. But it sort of started in a business sense when I was 24, and I set up on my own. And it was a bit of a brave and naive thing to do, really, because I didn't fully know. I didn't know anything about business, and I didn't really even know anything about design and marketing at the time, a little bit, but not a great deal. So big, massive learning curve there. Grew that business, moved it to be a fairly substantial design creative agency in Manchester in the late 1990s to early 2000s. Sold that largely because my daughter was 4 and my ex-husband and I had businesses in different counties. So there was a decision to be made really about whose business or whose career was more important at the time. But I willingly, maternally wanted to be around. So I set about selling that business, even though it was really at the height. We were very well regarded and respected in Manchester as property marketeers by then. I'm talking many years, from 1990 to 2005. So, I'd got through the whole learning curve and the building of a business. I sold that. That was my first regroup, really, because I became a school mum for a little while and loved that in many, many ways, but thought, I'm still pretty young. I had Abby when I was 34. There's another career in me still. I had a bit of time freelancing, figuring out what I would do next. And then, unfortunately, divorce happened and I became a single parent. And that's obviously a tricky one and a wonderful one. And the bond my daughter and I have is priceless and very, very, very precious to me. And so I just sort of trucked along. I did an MA. I went back to study. I did a fine art MA. Really enjoyed that. That was a real cathartic experience. And then I decided to go and do it all over again for some reason and started another agency, but this time in my hometown of Clitheroe. So no commute, could do the school run, pick my business partner, pick my colleagues. And yeah, I really just got a list out. I got a, what would I like to do with my life? What's good and what's bad? I don't want difficult relationships with people. I don't want long commutes. I just going to write down what I want. I want to be able to be nearby for school and I want to have, yeah, no commute. Literally, that was one of the biggest things as well. And did it all over again. And I started another business, and that business more latterly, that went on for 12 years successfully. Quite low level though, and I found that quite frustrating. It was good quality, great fun, but it didn't ever escalate to anything grand. And 2 years ago, we merged with another business and I formed a third business, which is To the Summit. And interestingly enough, I was thinking about the three business names I've had. 90 degrees, had a degree symbol and numbers. Latitude and Longitude, the art gallery that paired with the marketing business, had coordinates. And you'll recall coming to the studio and seeing them on the roof, on the ceiling. And now To the Summit is all about a destination, a journey,
Mm,
coordinates, a route, terrain, many things around that sort of
yeah. Yeah.
going forward, going towards something. And for some reason, coordinates seem to underpin that. Hadn't really
Yeah.
realised that till I thought about it.
Yeah.
And now I think, yeah, I'm in a place where I've been able to come back to me and my time a bit more. Got a lovely partner now who's very, very supportive. My daughter's in London, so we're all doing our own thing, but nicely together. And yeah, it's given me the time to think. I've still got the energy and the enthusiasm and the motivation to build something. And I question why I should really at nearly 60 and retirement and that big question. And I fundamentally feel that I need to be busy. I don't know. Am I still trying to prove things to myself? Am I still trying to prove I'm valid? I think I've kind of battled limiting beliefs quite a lot of my life. And I have been frustrated in my career that I've never got it to the height that I feel. I don't know if I was going to say I was deserved, but that sounds dreadful, really. Just to reflect the time and the work and the struggle to get it somewhere. And I can honestly say, bizarrely, I've never felt more in my stride in my career. I feel it's unbelievable. I don't even know why. I've been at drink stews with friends and they go, God, you don't want to retire. Why on earth are you doing it? And they're quite big questions to ask yourself, really, aren't they? I do like a purpose.
Your journey up to now in life has been very colourful, is the word to describe it, in the sense that you have been through business launches and, um, personal relationship transitions. You have been through what people would say are kind of two major areas in life, and you've had transitions in those. And now you've just said to me, I feel so in my stride. I feel so energized. So tell me about this space that you find yourself in now. So everything that you've told us, if we think about that as what was, and what's next for you as you're on the threshold of your 60th birthday. I
That's
wasn't
it.
gonna mention it, but you mentioned it.
I'm not bothered.
You're in this wonderful place. The questions that you're asking yourself,
Yeah.
why am I so enthusiastic? I personally
I,
think that's fantastic, and I certainly wanna be you when I grow up, and not
God, we
pointing
get,
to the fact that I'm younger than you, Sarah,
yeah,
or
you are.
anything like
You
that,
are.
but
No,
tell
you are.
me what.
I think it's around enjoyment.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do, gosh, honestly, everything that you go through in life does make you, it's a cliche to say, but it does make you stronger. It does make you resilient. You do learn all the time. I still love learning. I think for me now, everything I choose is based on enjoyment and fulfillment. And I still wrestle with the chewy bits because there's no denying business is chewy. Life's chewy. Relationships are chewy. Everything can be, can't it? But I think if you come back to surrounding yourself with really good people is to me the absolute essence. And maybe there needs to be a little bit of strength to remove yourself from people that don't help you, that might be detrimental to your spirit. Because as you know, I work on quite high energy. People are always telling me to slow down, do less, relax more. And I'm getting better at it. I'm not fully there yet, but I am getting better at that. And I do see the value very, very much in sitting quietly and reflecting and letting creativity come forward, letting ideas come forward. Massive, massive, big part of my life is strategy, particularly at work and helping other business leaders. And yet, fundamentally, I want to make a difference still. And all the people around me want to make a difference. I know that they're good souls who care about people. And I suppose the way we do it, obviously, we have charity arms and we're massively supportive of Blackburn Youth Zone, which is our local youth centre, which is amazing charity, and other things. Fundamentally, every client, every person walks through the door. We've got YAB, Your Affordable Board, which is our peer-to-peer support group for solo, small to medium enterprises and just helping them with everything anybody in our organisation has learned. There's a thing that, you go to give, you don't go to take. You just,
Mm,
you go and help.
mm.
You answer questions, you support. You can do one-to-ones afterwards that help people. So I suppose it's all around just being around really good people,
Mm.
doing doing what you hope is good. If I can help a business that might be struggling or difficulty or frustration through my line of work is strategic marketing, creative consultancy, business support. If I can help in any way, that fulfills me. Probably more than anything is helping people. I
Yeah,
don't want to sound like a saint or anything, but I'm not. It's just fulfilling, and
that's your driver, Sarah, I
it's
guess.
my driver, transformation in people. It's probably what keeps me doing this, and it's fascinating. People are fascinating.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Sarah, because you said that you got to a stage in your business, the other business
Yes.
that you'd been involved with for 12 years, where, you said it was quite low key, it wasn't going anywhere. And I sensed that there had come a point when it was no longer giving you, that enjoyment that you've just mentioned. Perhaps what I'm trying to understand is, but it was going okay, right?
Yes, it was going well. There was a lovely environment, nice people, nice clients. It wasn't growing really. It wasn't growing. It wasn't scaling. It was just trucking along nicely.
What was it in you? I guess there was a need for a shift. That something was going on
Yeah,
in you that
yeah,
was striving for something different.
yeah,
That's the place that I want to get you
yeah.
to talk about.
Oh, it's an interesting one. Is it ambition? I don't think it's ambition. I was in my 40s and 50s. I don't know that it was ambition. I think it was probably a sense of self-worth or a self-expectation that I should be somewhere. I should have created a business that was growing and scaling. I should have perhaps been earning more, but I'm not an overly materialistic person. I think I was told the other day that I've got extremely high standards, and I'm probably my hardest critic. So I kind of drive myself. Nobody else is. Nobody's asking me to do anything. Nobody's expecting or putting anything on me. I'll be perfectly honest. I'm comfortable in life financially. Years and years and years of working, as said, small, medium-sized businesses, keep doing it. Yeah, what is the real thing? It's me. It's probably my own sense of worth, my own self-standing, whether I feel like I've achieved enough. And I obviously felt there was more because I haven't achieved it, so that was the frustration.
Yeah. You as a person had success to somebody looking from the outside in would say, well, that business is successful. You're doing well in life. You have a good relationship with your daughter, all of that. But something in you was saying, no, that I don't see myself just staying where I
am. I want something more. What
Yes.
did that feel like on a day-to-day basis while you were searching for what that more looked like?
Well, I think it felt like frustration and Groundhog Day, like just going to work was the same. You know, if you go to the same building and walk up the same staircase and through the same front door for 12 years with the same people, and they'd say the same of me. It's not
Yeah,
all
yeah.
about me. We had good fun. We had a nice environment. We created something absolutely lovely. But you're right. Even all that said, and I know that's true, it wasn't enough. I feel I've said a sentence that I don't know whether it's right or wrong really, but to myself, which is I think I want to go big before I go home because I feel like this is my last big career move. I don't think there'll be another one after this. Having merged the business and in 2 years, we've gone from 7 people, 8 people to 13, 14. It's not about it's not about growing it in number by number, but everybody there is important and valuable to the journey. It's still getting excited by a vision. I still strategize all day long about how we can improve with my colleagues, with my co-founders. I haven't done this business on my own. I've got
Mm,
4 business partners, and together, we strategize all day long, really. We're constantly improving, creating, thinking of new things, and that's exciting. I think being around those kind of minds is exciting and energizing, and I don't know, maybe fundamentally I feel quite young for what is a number,
mm,
an age, and I just really, really enjoy work. I can't describe it. I'm in a very lucky position that I've always known the sector of work. I get a real fulfillment out of creativity when we're given a branding job and we have to go and I do a lot of copywriting and I go and write a narrative around a client or reposition their messaging. And then when you get a result from it and the difference it makes, you think, oh, that's exciting really. The transformation and the creativity.
let me ask, you said you like writing copy and the branding. So if you were to write a branding sentence, I don't even know if this is fair to to ask you this, but the Sarah before, because I'm very interested in the person, right? The business is great, but I'm very interested in you and
Yeah.
how you have evolved through this process. So
Mm.
I'm just curious, if you were to
Yes.
brand the Sarah before and to brand the Sarah now,
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm a deeper thinker. I think I'm much more inward looking and aware of well, we've talked about it, sort of spirituality, haven't we? And the bigger roles of life and themes, and it's very hard to describe this. I think it's not a monetary thing. It's a more holistic thing. I'm probably choosing to do things that light me up, really. So I suppose if I'm going to say anything, I'm just much more, gosh, that's a really tricky one. I would have to spend a little bit of time thinking about my own narrative and my own brand message. It would be getting sense of enjoyment out of helping other people, having a fulfilling time. I want to give back now as well. So, I'm really, really grateful for my life. It's had its twists and turns as most lives do. But as a person, yeah, I am stronger. I'm more grounded. I'm more aware of myself.
Mhm,
The two things I really observe in life, and particularly in my job, of being around people and a service business, I think, and a small business. I think there's two really important things in life are negotiating people, because there's lots of different types of people around with different views and different approaches and different personality traits. So navigating people is probably a life skill. Personally or professionally, I just feel that's really important. And them navigating me as well, of course. And secondly, the internal work of what really fulfills you, what's your big why, what drives you. Um, I have become much more contemplative, much more grateful, much more reflective as a person. Hence the trying to slow down, trying to take it all in, trying to really reflect.
mm.
I just get a massive sense of enjoyment out of being around people.
Yeah, yeah. And is that different to, because again, so that's you now.
Mm.
And just to reflect back on, how
Well, I
is
think
that
it was all
different
about the
from,
struggle before.
okay.
I think it was all about proving myself, to be fair. I think when I was around 10 years old or whatever, I think I wasn't academically great at all. I was very creative. So, right brain maybe more than left brain, et cetera, maths, things like that really struggled with. And I think I probably was dyslexic. I never diagnosed or mentioned, and I've no problem with whether I am or I'm not dyslexic. But having sort of not sailed through school academically, it's always been hard graft to catch up, keep up, compare myself. I think I have carried a lot of that through my life, that I've got to prove I'm good enough academically or in business or some way or other. That definitely stays with you, when you're compared in exam results to the person next to you, and you're always in a league table of exams and progression. Weirdly enough, I've made my own career. I've never been in a corporate world. I only know small, medium-sized business. Uh, yeah, I suppose just done it a really different way from most people. It occurred to me the other day that really since 24, I've made my own salary every month since then, my entire life, which I'm pretty proud of, to be fair, because I haven't had investment or backing in any way whatsoever. It's been small growth and reinvestment and that kind of thing. So, yeah, am I still trying to prove myself? I do ask myself that. Am I still trying to
Mm,
prove I'm good enough at things?
mm,
I think it's quite a central theme for a number of people, whether they feel they are
yeah.
or aren't good enough, and by whose standards, and, worrying about. I have without questions early in my life, definitely, much more so than now, but worried about what people think of me.
Mm,
So I think that does make you strive quite a bit. You question why you're not more relaxed and why that should matter, and you should do something about that.
yeah, yeah. It's very interesting to me that we often talk about things like charge what you're worth.
Yes.
And I would love to flip that narrative a little bit and say to people, it's about charging for value, because it's the value you bring to your client. It's how you value yourself. I would love to flip that narrative and no longer say charge what you're worth, because that kind of puts the onus on you kind of to think, am I worth this? Of course you are. You're worth everything, and but it's about value. I think, if you value yourself and you value therefore your time and the skills and the knowledge that you've accumulated over the years, and that's what you bring to the table, then in a business situation, that's what you're charging for. So it's not about
Yes,
your worth,
100%.
it's about the value you bring.
Yeah, and I think that was a sea change between the business that just trucked along and the new business, is that, well, as you know, we met on a business mentoring program, and it was about finding these keys to help
Yes.
view things differently, and I got lots of new perspectives on business that weren't anything to do with finance
Mm,
at all. We've a saying sort of at work that, if you make a decision from your heart, it will always be right. It'll be the
yeah,
right decision. If you
yeah,
make a decision from money, you might be compromising yourself or somebody. Um, it's not from the right place to make your decisions. So yeah, I learned quite a lot of things. I mean, for you and I, we've discussed at length what wealth is, and that misconstruing of the word wealth as being money, and it isn't. It's rich in life and people around you, and crack it, a walk in nature, whatever wealth is to you. It's not necessarily what we all think it is in terms of wealth management or, pensions and
yes,
shares, etc.
yeah,
So I've learned a lot of those really, really good philosophies along the way as well, that I think really do shape you. And if you're open to new thoughts and new ideas and listening to people and their take on life, that's how I find people are fascinating. Just different points of view, different ways of looking or coping with the world, and things you can bring to your business, things you can bring to your life, all of it. The massive gratitude for, hopefully just being healthy and having people around you. And those are the big things, aren't they? The huge, huge things.
Yeah. And so, in terms of what you said, the people around you, how through the seasons of life that you have found yourself in, has there been like a stabilizing community or a stabilizing force that, and that can be internal, it can be, some people say things like, oh, they've got a rod of steel down their back, just keeping them grounded and keeping them steady as they go through the ups and downs of life. Do you think that there's been anything like that for you?
The constant for me is probably my family and friends and my daughter. Um, you know, um, Spoken of divorce and relationships, and then now I've got a lovely partner. I'm very, very grateful for that. But I suppose the constant has been family and friends. I've come across people in my life that haven't been right for me, and friendships as well. You just, I don't know, just as a bit of self-respect means just move away and let that let them be. But I have learnt so much of late. I feel stronger of late for sure. These last 5 years, I would say, really, really felt much more like I've done quite a bit of work on it, and like I say, I feel much more in my stride. Yeah, much more. But the constant is always people. People are my close loved ones around me, for sure. I've always been very lucky to have a big friendship group as well, which I massively value. I value time with lots of different people.
Yeah. And in terms of kind of your experience, because when we talk about worth and value, and people are obviously important to you and have supported you, can people feel internally fragile, Sarah, while appearing highly competent externally?
Percent, absolutely. I think everybody has an internal negative bias to sort of, doubt and run themselves down and be hard on themselves. Well, that's certainly how I feel. I've always got an expectation on myself to, perform well in the meeting, to, uh, you know, give great advice, be really valuable to a client or a friend or anybody really. I've just got over public speaking. I was like sort of like 55 and thought, you've got to public speak and you absolutely hate it and you've avoided it your entire life. Well, you're just going to have to get on with this. So go and do something about it. And I've, slowly managed to get over it and put myself in situations where I do speak publicly regarding work matters, and that fear the fear and do it anyway
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is is a daily, it's not a daily occurrence. I have a very nice, easygoing business life, but yeah, definitely still challenging myself, and definitely there's discomfort.
Mm,
I'll give you a sort of a funny one. I love golf, and I play in a business group which is golf networking, and there's like 20 guys and two ladies, me and another lady,
mm,
and they have incredible handicaps and they play brilliantly. And I'll sit in a room and network with 20 guys and me and the other lady. And people have said to me, why do you do that to yourself? Why do you put yourself in that position? And I'm like, well, I really enjoy golf and I really enjoy people. And yeah, I'll get over it. I'll do my 60 seconds and I will play badly when I'm playing next to somebody who plays off two handicap. But hey, I'll just keep at it. I don't know why.
mm, mm. Yeah. In situations like that, and in general in life, Sarah, do you think confidence comes first, or does the action, like continuing to play, getting over your fear and doing it anyway, create the confidence then?
Well, your confidence definitely increases, that's for sure. But whether you need a little bit to start off with, yeah, I think if you've got real fear, you probably wouldn't make a start on certain things.
Mm,
I think I don't know, it's about risk as well, isn't it? About weighing up the risks and what the jeopardy of your actions are. Starting a business, you've got to qualify the risks of whether you're going to lose your house or whether you absolutely have to do it, don't have to do it. Uh, Thankfully, I've been able to start businesses without that
Yeah. Yeah.
worry to an extent. But yeah, no, I think you need an element of confidence to start. To be fair, Russ, yes, you'd probably run for the hills.
It's just, Sarah, I absolutely adore you, as you know, and I think
Likewise.
and I think one of the things that I really admire and talking today, and with you has really reinforced that, is that you actually are a very courageous person.
I don't see myself as that at all.
But you've
Probably a bit
just said
foolish.
that, you do weigh up risks, and somebody who weighs up risks and does it anyway, like you said, weigh up risks like losing your house, and then you immediately said, oh, okay, well, I've been very fortunate. But the point is you weighed up that risk, which means it entered your mind, and something, and the what if season in between what was, what's next, and the what if season, that season is about weighing up those risks, isn't it? And
Absolutely.
you kind of just went, yeah, but I'm fortunate. But there's something about you, Sarah, that I admire and respect, that makes you take that risk and move on. And I just wonder if you can articulate that for yourself.
Well, I hugely admire you, and I've learned a great deal from you, Hina, and you've been very instrumental in my journey since we met in 2018. Massive help. I've leaned on you for some of these big decisions, haven't I, to ask your point of view, and it's been massively helpful. Going forward, courageous is that? Oh, and I don't really feel courageous at all. I suppose I've realised I can take quite a lot. I can push myself quite far. And life's lessons. Divorce, without question, was the worst, most agonizingly horrible thing I've done in my life. And it's taken me a long time to get over it. You know, self torture, self reflection. Maybe it didn't need to be as painful as it was. But having gone through something like that, you can contextualize that these other things are not quite as bad as that. You just kind of, in comparison, it's just not that bad. It's just not that big a deal. And I just think you've always got to just get on and try it. You just, I'm not a big one for procrastinating. I'm very much like, I've had an idea, I'm going to do it. And I firmly believe I won't fail naively. That's not to say it's easy or it's a given, but I just feel I'll do so many things to make it succeed. But I'm very single-minded when it comes to work. I'm less so when it comes to exercise no, I'm very disciplined with that, but there's just some things. I think a very big thing is focus. And if you decide and truly believe in something and you focus on it, you will achieve it. And I think that's true of absolutely everybody. It's not about skill sets. It's not about, because everybody has their one little bit of genius, don't they? Doesn't matter what it is. If you just find the one thing that ignites your soul a bit and makes you happy, fulfilled, is worthwhile, then go for it with everything, with your focus, and do all those small little steps to get you nearer and nearer to where you want to go. So yeah, it can take years, absolutely years. As I said at the beginning, really, I feel I'm in a better place in my career now, nearly 60, much more fulfilled, ignited, interested, much more using my skill set better than I've ever been. Yeah, it's bizarre that really.
It sounds to me like, Sarah, that currently where you are, you have arrived, you have landed at that next stage where you're now doing the work that you're doing because it makes you happy, because you feel you are helping other people. And it does seem to light you up now. So that's wonderful to hear. And the last little bit, where you said, just if you want to do something, do it give it your full focus and just do it. What's a really good nugget to leave the listeners with?
Be true to yourself. Just try and figure out yourself. I suppose the older you get, the less you have to live up to other people or consider people. Maybe there's a little bit of freedom that you've had a lifetime of looking after other people and getting everything in place. And hopefully if you can get to a point where there is a bit of time and freedom for you to make your own choices, I would just say, figure out your individual passion, purpose. What's your why? What really fulfills you, makes you happy? Because it's not going to be work then. It's not going to be a chore. You know, I I don't have a Sunday night dread. I love going to work. That's a lot. That's a lot. Just really enjoying the week ahead. And I love my weekends and I love my home life as well. But I know I've worked very, very hard to get all these ducks in a line. It's not been a gift. I've had to work very, very hard at all sorts of things to get there. But yeah, just be true to yourself. Try and figure out what your thing is. What do you need to achieve? Or do you need to achieve anything? If pure relaxation is your thing, do pure relaxation, but that's authentically you, isn't it? It's your choice. I have full respect for a lot of my friends who don't have careers. They're mums, they're homemakers, they have wonderful lives. I fully respect them because they are fully doing what is right for them. Fully.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that really is, I guess, what we all want to strive for, to live a life that is fulfilling, whatever area we choose to focus on at that particular point in time. So, okay, well, I want to thank you so much for your time, Sarah. And
Thank you, Hina. Thank you very much.
it's
I've really
been,
enjoyed it.
oh no, it's been fascinating. And I'm sure that there are going to be nuggets in there for the listener to take away. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for listening to What Was, What Next. Every story that we share here is a reminder that life moves in seasons and that the space between what was and what comes next is not a failure, but part of the journey. So if this conversation resonated with you, please do share it with someone who might need to hear it as well. Until next time, take care of yourselves in whatever season you're in. And remember, the season that makes no sense today may be the one that shapes the future for you. So embrace it in all its glory. Till next time.